of Altars exhibit and online auction. And thank you all to the artists who have been participating and to all of you who've been viewing and bidding. So we're grateful for that. We've actually sold a couple of 3 altars at the buy it now price. So we're very thrilled that you all have helped us do that. And we have visiting artists tonight. I want to welcome Jose Mojica. Thank you, Jose.
Hello.
Jose is also on our Celebration Circle Council of Stewards and does poetry and many other things. But thanks for being here, for getting off work and getting home and time to join us. And sure. I want to welcome Lynn Belisle, who's just an amazing artist whose work I've appreciated for many, many years. Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks as always for inviting me, Zed. This is great.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Sacred Art of Altars show, and we'll bring them back shortly with a few other artists. So we'll see you in a moment. So tonight I just want to talk a little bit about this process that these artists have gone through. And this is the altar box that they all started with, if you can see. And these were made by a friend of ours, a craftsman, Skip Gerson, who lives in Comfort, Texas. And he made 60 of these that we gave out to artists. And we always have a few that don't make it back, but they're in the place where they're supposed to be. So this is what all the artists started with. And we don't really have any specific guidelines. We tell the artists that they're free to use whatever materials or thoughts or feelings or anything that they really have in their hearts to express. So we get a wide variety, just like us human beings. We all have this same form that we walk around on 2 legs, but we're all different. All these artists' altars are different because of that unique individuality that we each have. So the way that the altar exhibit got started was many years ago. We used to have a gala kind of fundraiser and auction at, most often it was at the Whitty Museum. And one year we were having that event, and Edward Sagaville, who is on our council and has been since the very beginning, decided that he was going to ask artists to make centerpieces for the event. And he went out and collected small boxes and drawers and gave those out to artists to create a centerpiece. And those were our centerpieces. And then when we stopped doing the galas, we somehow merged those boxes and those drawers into this Sacred Art of Altars exhibit that this is our 16th year. So, and many of you will remember that we used to do the altar exhibit at the Bijou Theater. We were there for 14 years, and it was a great location for us. The Santikos went through some changes, and they're no longer showing art at the Bijou. So last year we were at the Brick down in Blue Star, and we had this show scheduled for March the 19th. And well, we all know what happened and where we are now. So we're really grateful that we've had this opportunity to go online with the exhibits, because it's time for these beautiful pieces of art to go into homes and offices and be appreciated by patrons of the arts. So, and that means you, and we're grateful for your being here. I'm going to put up a link in a moment that will allow you to go to the Charity Auctions website and bid on the altars. And I was just trying to do that here directly. And of course, I can't get it to work, but if you give me a minute, we'll post it on Facebook. And I want to we're going to ask the, maybe I could get Michelle or Chuck are online right now. Maybe they would post the link to the charity auctions website so you can see that. And if not, I will do it in a moment. We plan a lot and then life happens, right? So we're going to bring back Lynn Belisle, and I'm going to put her altar here. So you can see it. And I'm going to bring her back on screen and get situated. There we go. Back. And let's see. Yay. There we go. There's your beautiful altar. And so, Lynn, the title of your altar is Blessing Bowl.
Yeah.
And so,
yes, it is.
And what can you talk a little bit about the process that you went through?
Sure. This was one of those serendipitous things that sometimes happens when I do altars. It's one of my favorite projects throughout the year, of course. And I was teaching a workshop called Neo Santos, and it's about creating your own personal saint that blesses you and your own concerns and causes. And this was one of the examples from that workshop. I was teaching people how to do this, and I made this example. It wasn't in the altar box. It was a freestanding piece, and I was trying to convey the idea of peace and beauty and using very pale colors and things. And this is kind of funny. Shows my ignorance, but I named her Santa Blanca because she is my white saint. Her colors are white. It turns out that's a drug cartel in Bolivia. So I thought I have to fix her. And so I added a blessing bowl down at the bottom to sort of pull in all the evil things and negate all the badness of all of the connotations that were associated with it. And to me, it works beautifully as a piece that perfectly fit inside the altar and that kind of took a bad connotation and turned it into something good, with a bowl for all of us to put our blessings in. The bowl was a separate piece, and I found that at the Botanical Garden. And again, the little saint piece fit perfectly into the altar. The little bowl from the Botanical Garden fit perfectly into the altar. So I think it was a piece that was meant to be. And yeah. And speaking, okay, but wait, Zette, there's more. If somebody wants to bid on this, to buy this altar, I'm also teaching a new workshop on prayer flags. And I used a photograph of that altar for a prayer flag.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, so if someone buys the altar, I will give them the prayer flag that goes with it. So they'll have a companion piece.
Oh, so that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, of course. But, this really is one of my favorite projects of the whole year. And of all the years, 2020, oh my gosh, do we need altars?
Yeah, that's why, we've had these altars in storage for 6 months, and I just kept, they were like calling, like, let me out, please. Yeah. I need to be in the world sharing this love.
Well, and the other thing about this particular altar is when I teach these workshops, we don't use anything fancy. That's, we use paper plates and cardboard, and so everything is a humble material in that altar. And just painting it white kind of pulls it all together. So I think that that being honest in the materials is a good thing to be also.
And I'm gonna do a little bit of a close up so that
yeah.
people can see how it just shimmers. And what did you use on the outside edges? And
That's a great trick. That is an aluminum tape that people use to fix air conditioners. It's
oh,
aluminum tape, and so if you bevel it and attach it to wood, you can sand it a bit and rub shoe polish into it, and it gives this great finish. And of course, the faces I make for my Etsy shop, but all of the faces come from Old San Fernando Cemetery, from press molds from the angels in Old San Fernando Cemetery. So they're sort of pre-mojoed, and that was from an angel at the cemetery.
and
So there's a lot of
what about the image of the face there?
the image is from a website called Flickr Commons, which is a repository for non-copyright vintage photographs that are in the public domain. And I go there and I look for faces for my encaustic work, and some of the people are famous and some of them are anonymous, and it's amazing the stories you can see there. So there are a lot of parts there that have significance, from an anonymous face to a gravestone rubbing and pressing to air conditioner tape. And
Yeah.
it's
And I love that
amazing.
there's a little I have to show. There's a little star in the bowl.
Yep.
Beautiful little. Can you see? That goes with the bowl. That's in the blessing bowl. The
It
shining
does.
light. And the bowl
Yeah.
itself, I don't know if everybody can see. Is it gold leaf?
It is gold leaf. I put that inside the bowl just because blessings are golden, and I thought it went with Santa Blanca. So it was a fun. I never quite know what to do with the examples that I do for workshops, but when she fit so perfectly into that altar, I knew she had found a home. I was
Yeah.
really thrilled the way it all came together.
And so you said you have a prayer flag workshop coming up. What other workshops do you have? Anything?
Well, yeah, I have workshops on Lotus books, and I have one called Spread the Word, where you take a word that's special to you, like breathe or justice, and you cut it out and you make a collage out of it. And many of these are free. If you go to lynbelisle.com, you can see these workshops. But I think it's a good time for people to be expressing their creativity when we're all kind of isolated, and we have time to contemplate this. So it's in that sense, it's been an interesting summer. So if you need a workshop, I would love for you to visit my site. The Prayer Flag workshop, I just finished it today, and as I said, this one is one of the examples. We're working with image transfers, and I'm working with Brianna Saucy, who is a wonderful spiritual teacher, and she has given us permission to use her 365 daily blessings. She's just written a great book called Making Magic. So she's kind of I'm the how to do it person, and she's kind of the spiritual person in this whole prayer flag workshop. So it's a good time for that sort of reflection and contemplation.
It is. And you are a wonderful teacher. So I hope everyone will.
As are you. Thank you. I still have your altar from the very first celebration circle event that I went to.
Really?
I
Oh, well,
do.
that's nice to know.
Yeah, it's a
I
treasure.
can't even imagine what it would look like now. All these.
You would remember it.
Oh, and I know I have done the spread the word. Is that the workshop that you're talking about? I've done that and made cards and sent to people with their
Good.
names, which is really a wonderful thing
Oh,
because you
that's so
turn
good.
someone's name into a piece of art.
You
And
really do. Yeah.
yeah,
It spreads the word without being overt. It's great.
yeah. Okay, I'm still working on this link thing.
It's interesting how we're all, the mixed blessing of going virtual with your art. More people can see it. and the exposure is much more widespread, and yet we sort of can't touch it. It's a real dichotomy.
Yeah, it is. But we're ready to get these out into the world, and this one is just beautiful. So
Oh, thank
thank
you,
you so
Zed.
much for participating. I appreciate it.
What a pleasure, as always. I've
Yeah.
got to go bid now, Zed.
Okay. Yes, as our friend Carl says, bid now, bid often,
That's
bid
right.
high.
We'll do it.
Okay. Thanks for being with us, Lynn.
Thanks for inviting me, Zed.
Yeah. Let's see. So we're back, and I'm gonna bring. Let's see. Let me get my. Next altar is Jose Mojica's, and let's see. I'm going to bring Jose back here, and
Hey.
hi, Jose.
Hello.
See, I need to go this way with it a little bit. There we go. So, thank you. What do you, what's the title of
you.
your altar?
I believe it's I Am.
I am.
I can't really remember, but
It
yeah,
is. It is.
I Am. Yes.
I am. Yes.
Yes.
And why that title?
I was playing with the idea of can't see the forest for the trees to find yourself, and so that's why I put the little mirrors in the background to see yourself past the tree. You know, that's what I was playing with. That finding yourself in when you feel lost.
Always a mirror there, right? To reflect and shine back your own light. Yeah. And so,
go
ahead.
Yes. And so like the little pieces around it is like a representation of the little pieces of yourself and then coming together in the center.
And that ties in with the I am.
Yes, with I am.
And then there are tree branches inside.
Yes, that's the just from the backyard. I went through countless of twigs and branches to find the right ones, and I didn't want to. I felt like putting more, but it felt cumbersome. I wanted something simple, something to show that you can find yourself. So I narrowed it down to these peculiar trees, these peculiar twigs, if anything. And I liked them because one was darker and the other one was, lighter. And so just to show how we're different shades, inside and out. So
you can see see it up close. It's very earthy and grounded.
I just like the mirror being able to reflect, just to remind yourself, that I am, we are.
Yeah. Now, I know you're a poet. So have you written a poem about this piece or?
No, no. I've tried to combine the two, but sometimes I feel like they're two separate mediums. But for me, I haven't been able to, or to combine my poetry to an art piece. I don't know. To me, they're just like, they should exist separately. And if I do write a poem or I do make an art piece off of the poem, it should come naturally. It should just manifest itself. I don't want to force it that way.
Yeah. And so where was the initial So which came first, the title or the work?
The deadline. No, I think the idea of playing with the forest, can't see the forest through the trees. That played with me since before the announcement of the altars. And I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm gonna play with that theme and go with it and kind of just more like dissect it and make it more to oneself, to more to
Yeah,
oneself.
yeah. Well, it's really lovely.
Yeah, and I just like that I was able to go through all these twigs, and I didn't. And what I did is um, I didn't like break them off any living trees. I found them on the ground,
Mhm.
and also I really enjoy the image of a bare tree, just no leaves, just a tree that's just. I've always felt connected to that image in silhouettes or in out in an open field, and so I just wanted to put that in a medium for once,
Mhm.
and then using these twigs gives it more of a three-dimensional uh, aspect.
Well, and I guess when you made the altar, the trees were bare. It was that long ago, right?
Yeah, it was. It was.
I
Yeah.
think the artists had to turn their altars in February, so we had
Yeah.
a lot of bare trees around here. Hi,
Yeah.
Rudy.
Well, I don't. These trees around here, they drop a lot of branches, so they're
Yes,
always there.
and I haven't looked at them closely, but Jose happens to be one of our neighbors, so. But I'm guessing that at least one of them is a pecan branch.
Uh, I know they're made out of wood. That's about it. I don't know. I don't know what species of plant it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's from Mother
So
Earth, the gift from
yeah,
Mother
I
Earth.
know there's a pecan tree in front of the house, but if that was one of them, I don't know.
And so, how did you attach them in? Did you drill them? Drill?
Losing connection.
I said, how did you attach? Did you drill the holes into the wood?
Mm-mm.
No.
I lost the connection. Can't hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
No. You allow me to refresh again?
Sure. I'm going to ask Rudy and Sarah to refresh as well. Rudy's going to do some interviews. We're going to just take a moment here and see if we can get everybody to refresh and get everybody back on screen. Let's see. You know, technology is really great when it works. No, no Jose yet. So I guess we'll see if we can bring him back here in a moment. We're not. Let's see. Sarah, if you can hear me, can you refresh yours? And we'll see if we can, let me refresh too. We're just gonna do a little technology here. Okay. I guess, well, that didn't work. I'm going to talk about altars till I can get people back up here on screens. Well, and I'm going to show this altar because Beverly Meyer was supposed to be on tonight, but we could not get the audio to work on her. And so I'm going to show this and hopefully we can figure it out this week and she'll be back with us next Friday night. But this is a beautiful piece. She works in glass and mosaics, and it's just a wonderful piece of art that she created. Be Still. So very peaceful. So we'll see Beverly next week. And I'm gonna see if I can get Sarah to refresh. And technology. Okay. Seems like nobody's coming in right now, so I'm just going to keep showing altars. And this one is by Sarah Flannery Garza. And Sarah is, I think she's an 8th grader, but I so wish she could be here. Let me see what Rudy has to say about us not connecting.
Shows we're live and I see me.
And
I
you
hear
did,
you.
and you can refresh.
I've hit refresh.
I saw you come up on the screen,
but
and
look at it.
then you went away. Okay.
Try it again.
You want to try it with my phone? Would that matter?
But you need that to communicate.
Well. So the title of Sarah's piece is Open the Door. And she has used some really wonderful kind of vintage images and beads and stones. And there's a key that just might be the thing that we need to open the door. And we're hoping that we can get Sarah to come in and talk about this. And the sides are just beautiful as well. In the side, you can see that she's used a collage of letters that say open on this side. You know, we all did these tests this afternoon and everything worked just fine. I'm going to try one more time. To refresh, reload, a good life lesson. Okay, Google's wanting me to type in a code. Maybe that's what's going on. So bear with us. We're getting there. We're working on getting our world all figured out here. So we have Sarah here. Yay! 3, 2, 1. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes,
Yay!
I can hear you.
So glad this worked finally.
Mhm.
Just got to refresh enough times and hold your mouth just right, I always say.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, I was just talking a little bit about your piece, and the title is "Open the Door." What can you tell us about the title and your process?
I chose the title "Open the Door" because I wanted to express the value of how sometimes people say things like, "I'm not good at art" or "I'm not a creative person," and I want people to know that that isn't true. Everyone is possible. Everyone is like, I like to think of it as everyone has a house, and you just have to open the door and get in.
Oh, that's good. And that's why you use the key?
Mhm.
And what can you
Yeah.
tell us about the images that you used?
Yes. So I used a mixed media kind of skill. As you can see on the sides of the box, I used magazine cutouts, and it spells out open and things like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the inside. Oop, there we go.
Yep.
Open.
It says
Yeah.
open.
And is there any a particular meaning to the images that you chose for the inside?
I wanted to make it very random because I think that everyone's art is very random and different from each other. So I made sure to make it very unrelated and random.
Good. And Sarah, so what grade are you in?
I just started 9th grade.
Ninth grade. Okay. I thought you were in eighth, but then I thought, no, I think she's going into high school. So I'm glad you got straight on that. And what school are you going to?
Alamo Heights High School.
Great. And I bet it's a little strange now, huh?
Yeah, it's a little strange. We're doing online classes.
Especially for a freshman, because you don't even have a school yet that you identify with within a physical building, right?
Yeah, not yet. Well, some people are going back, but we're taking extra precautions.
Yeah, good. And so this altar was created before there was COVID, before we even knew that was something, and quarantine and pandemic, those weren't words in our vocabulary.
Yeah.
Do you think your altar would be any different today if you were doing an altar with the same theme?
Yeah, I think it would be a lot different. Since I'm fairly young, I think my art skills change very quickly. So if I did an altar now, it would probably look a lot different. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see how you can change very fast if you practice enough.
Mm-hmm. And have you been making a lot of art in the last 6 months?
Yes, I have the past time. Yes.
What mediums have you been using?
I've been doing a lot of painting, and I've also been making films and things like that for my YouTube channel. So that's
you have your own YouTube channel?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, what's it called? Just
Flannery Films.
Flannery Films. I got to go check that out. That's very exciting. So what are your films about?
Well, it's kind of a variety of things. I also do little missing persons artwork. So what I do is I pick different missing persons cases that are, going through hard times and are kind of cold. And then I make a video on it and exposing the cases so they get more attention. And I also recently released a documentary called Beyond the Labels about social stereotypes, and I interviewed a few friends.
Wow. That's just so fabulous. You're an
Thank you.
inspiration.
Thank you.
So is film one of your favorite mediums?
I would say so. It's something that I'm pretty passionate about. I want to work in the film industry when I'm older, like maybe screenwriting and, directing I think would be fun because I like designing things and I also like writing.
Wow. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
How long have you been coming to the Celebration Circle? Do you remember?
Since 2012, so since I was 6, actually.
Oh gosh. Well,
Yeah.
you and your family are just such a blessing to us all.
Thank you. We love that.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about your altar?
I think that's good. I hope it gets fitted, and I hope that people enjoy looking at it. I hope that it makes people think.
Yeah. And feel too.
Hmm.
Has a lot of feeling in it.
Yeah. Hope
Great.
so.
Well, thanks for being with us. I'm so grateful that your mom said you were being a little bit shy and she didn't know if you would do it or not. So I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, I decided to do it. I think it would be fun. Thought it would be fun.
And I'm looking forward to seeing some Flannery films.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us, Sierra.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to see, I think Jose is back with us. Let's see if we've got audio. And are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Audio?
Audio, everything's good.
Oh.
I don't
Yeah,
know what little gremlins were out there in our world, but they were out there. So what else did you need to say about your piece?
I was so focused on trying to get back on this, I wasn't thinking about it.
Oh, no, I lost your audio again.
Oh, no.
How weird.
I just want to say bid.
No audio.
No audio.
And you were right there and loud and clear.
Oh, this is great. I'll put it in the comments.
Let me see what I can do here.
I'm going to go. Can
refresh once more.
I don't know. Am I here?
Now you're here.
Hey.
Okay. So
oh boy.
tell us something else about your altar.
I didn't want to cover up the wood of the altar box. I felt like it was natural, and what I tried to do was make a thin water-based brown paint, and I didn't want to use like a lacquer or a stain. So I used a water-based paint, and I liquefied that even more, and I just started painting that to give it more of a stain effect.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to cover up the wood with so much either, and I was trying to be simple as well, because it's about finding yourself again. And
well, and for those of you who just joined us, let me get Jose's altar and do a little close-up of it so you can see. And the title is I Am. And there, have we lost you again?
No, I'm silently in awe with it.
You are it.
Yeah.
I am.
I was recalling I had it on the shelf, and my eyesight, I have pretty good peripheral vision, and I had it on the shelf, and I felt like something was like moving, and it was just my reflection in the little mirrors, and so so yeah, so I found myself there.
And so I'm going to ask you what I asked Sierra. I said, if you were going to create this altar now, 6 months or so after we've gone into this pandemic, how would it be different?
I don't know. There's so much has happened. It would that box would probably be more cluttered than ever. There's so much feelings. There's so much empathy I have for the world, globally. The weight is heavy on my heart. There's just so much I would do different, so much that I would add to if I was to do it now.
Yeah. So many feelings and
For sure. I mean, I have 2 ideas for the next altar, and the second one just came up when you asked me.
Wonderful. Well,
You know.
I've been in conversation with Skip, and we're hoping I'll get with him. I'm hoping that we'll kind of get back to the schedule that we had last year, where the artists get the altars in January, and then again we get them in February, and we'll somehow exhibit them in March. Contemporary Art Month was in March, and we only got to have about half of that. So we like being part of contemporary art. So yeah. Well, thank you, dear.
Sure.
I'm going to
Thank you.
see if I can get a few more artists up here. I think we've got them online and waiting. So
Okay.
thank
I'll
you.
see you soon.
Okay. Thanks, Jose. And Rudy is here.
And I'm speaking. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you
Oh,
all. It's
man,
right with the
what a
world.
blast. Well, this has been quite an adventure for us. This multitasking with Be Live, Facebook, YouTube, Wix.com. And I just will take a moment to acknowledge our master of ceremony / creative director / executive director / janitor and housekeeper in the celebration circle. But first of all, and most of all, the person who's really ramrodded the art show, the Sacred Art of Altars, not just this year, but every year for the past 16 years. This is, in a very real sense, Zet's baby. And she would never say that herself, so I just got to say it. Anybody's listening, that Zet Bear is an amazing human being, first of all, but done a particularly fine job on this art show. In my humble opinion, I'm prejudiced. I've been married to her for 40 years, but and benefited from all her many talents. But enough about me and my great joy and my pride to be here. We have here in the Celebration Circle studio 3 more artists. First up is Casey James, and Zet Bear has her altar being held up now. Casey, you want to come take my place here, and I'll dance over there. You'll dance over here.
Yeah, let's do all this
COVID
magic
safe
stuff.
and loud and clear.
Well, there I are.
Yeah.
There you are, and there's your art piece.
I can't even see my altar. I can't see that far.
So I'm showing your altar, and I've turned the lights on, and I'm going to do.
It has lights.
And I'm going to do a little close up of the, I'll take the number off the top. The top says heart treble, and you've got a big heart in it. So tell us about your altar.
Well, it's funny. When I first got the bravery to do it, I'm thinking, okay, well, I've never really done any kind of art, but maybe I could do something with this box. I was passing them out, if you remember, helping pass out the altars to the artists. And I thought, well, how hard can this be? And it was much harder than I thought. Maybe for an artist, somebody who does this often, but for me, it was very difficult. So when I sat down, I thought, okay, what is really a part of me? And the 2 things I could think of were hearts and music, because, my partner, Michael Madison, is a musician, and I collect hearts, and I think I have a very big heart. So it just
Yes, you do.
it seemed very fitting for those 2 things to be together. And then I started thinking about how Michael and I had met through music and, my poetry. And then I thought about how difficult it is, you know, starting to date somebody when you're 60 years old, and how fulfilling it is, but it can be a challenge. And so I forget where we were, somewhere, and I saw a treble. And when I saw the treble, I saw kind of a heart around it. And I thought, oh, heart treble, that just seemed perfectly natural to go together. So that's how it came about.
And what did you use to do the inside?
Well, you know, I could not figure out what to do. It took me a really long time to even decide, like, the medium, I guess you would say, you know. And I thought, okay, well, I could paint it. I can paint the box, and blue is Michael's favorite color. So I thought, okay, I'll start with that. So I painted the box, and then I forget, I thought about stained glass. I mean, I had these very big ideas of what I could do. I didn't know how to execute them, but I had a piece of plexiglass. So I thought, okay. And so I asked Michael to draw a treble for me. So he did. And then I just filled in the heart. And then I found, I forget what kind of paint it is, but it looks kind of like stained glass. Well, you can't really tell from looking at it on the online here, but you know, it's got that see-through effect, so you could see through it. And so that's what I did with that. And then I found I wanted to off mount it, you know, where it was mounted away from the wood. So I just started Googling, you know, things, and just kind of made it up as I went. And then it seemed very plain. So that's when I added the lights to it. And I thought, well, that's kind of cute.
It's beautiful. And you even put hearts on the back.
Yes. I like the back too, because I thought if it was sitting on, you know, if somebody had it on a table, it would be nice to be able to not have just a plain back, you know, to have the hearts on the back of it. And then the lights, you know, I wanted you be able to turn them on and off. So that's why I put the little switch on there too.
Yeah. And the switch, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So
that's how that came about. And
you can kind of see how, from a side view, how it's set off. From,
yeah,
from the back. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah, you can't really tell from the pictures, but yeah, it's off, you know, it's, I don't know, it's an inch or two out, I guess.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you.
Pardon?
And I'm going to ask you, and Casey is also on our Council of Stewards. So thank you for a treasurer. So thank you for that. I am going to ask you, how would it be any different, this altar, if you, you know,
did it now?
Yes.
Considering all things considered, I think I would put many more hearts. I think I would probably fill the hearts and maybe do them at many different levels, you know, because I think at the center of all the treble, no pen, oh, maybe all pens intended, but at the center of it, even when we can't see, there's always something very loving about the trouble. And that might sound crazy, but I don't know. It seems to me that if we can be quiet and just sit and listen to what is being told to us through the pandemic or through the fighting and the riot, whatever's going on, there really is something there for us. There really always is. And I think the way to get to that is through your heart. I don't think we can get through our brain or through, you know, doing. And I think we have to be quiet and listen through our heart. That's just worked for me through the tragedies that I've had to endure. And like, you know, no, everybody has to, right? But there's no way we can fight our way into change. We can't, you know, struggle our way through things. I mean, we do it, but it doesn't affect change. The only change that can be affected is through the heart. That's what I believe. So I think I would add many more hearts of many more sizes, broken ones, whole ones, and because it takes all of the hearts to make the heart of humanity.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for doing this. And also Casey and Michael are going to be our guest speakers and speaker and musician
Yes,
on Sunday, October the 11th. So
yes, we're excited.
you'll want to come and check that out. And
So if you're watching, bid on all these beautiful altars. They're wonderful. And support something that's really a great cause. Celebration Circle.
thank you.
Thank you.
And now I think next.
Next, I want to take just a moment to remember that these altars invite us to really open into our deepest selves. And every artist has his or her own way of doing that through their nicho, their altar, their altar. But any one of these altars could find a place in your home, in your office, and be a place where you could center attention, where you could put a favorite picture or a candle or a personal mental of yours to help focus positive energy in your life. And it's certainly the case for our next artist, Alexis Bierman, who is truly one of the most creative people I've ever encountered, a visual artist, a writer, I forget what it's called. It's called, what's your art form called where you glue all those things together? It's not
Mosaics.
mosaic. Mosaic. While walking into her home and garden, your eyes just like pop, my eyes, let me claim it, just popped out of my head. Pop, 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 pop. And yeah, I'll have Alexis Bierman tell you more about her beautiful artistry.
Hello.
Hi, Alexis.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Oh yeah, there it is. It is hard to see on the little phone. Yeah, totally.
So the title of yours is Leaf Values. And then
And then I think I said you are so much more than a leaf on a wind or blowing in the wind. The
You're on-
title is based on the second Sunday I was at Celebration Circle. Hal Robinson was giving his talk and talking about how sometimes we feel so out of control and victimized, but really we have more power than we think. And then he was talking about the red path. And my friend Ruth had given me that little piece of tile. She works at an architect's and they had an extra, surplus stuff. So that had been in my studio waiting to find a home. And it just sort of seemed like like a ladder or a path. And so that was sort of the start of my tree. And some happy trees in there and just kind of that reminder what that was about.
and tell me about your process or what do you, yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said about that red piece, I'm sort of and actually somebody else said that last week too, like kind of a magpie. The found objects are a lot of fun. So I started mosaics learning from Betsy Gruery here in town, one of the compost queens, and she worked primarily in stained glass only. And then I had kids, so they broke plates, So, and it just was fun to kind of think, oh, I can add that to it. And so the mixed media part kind of spoke to me. And was a way to bring together a lot of different art interests that I have, clay and painting and things. So.
Great. And I'm going to do just a little bit more of a close-up so people can see the some of the plates.
Yeah, so there's some blue willow in there, and sometimes I feel guilty. I try to only break plates that have chips, but yeah. And then I did do gold leaf on the sides, and then the actual side and tops of the outside are finished as well with chunks of stained glass, and then little tiny red tiles, sort of that red path idea. Red Road.
Beautiful. And so I guess my question is if you were going to do this now, after the experiences we've all had for the last 6 months plus, how would it be different?
Well, I have a friend, sort of distant friend, but who lost her house in the California fires, and they've been going back in to collect bits and pieces of things, and so we're going to make a frame for them. But I think it would have been special to add a piece of that to the altar too, just as kind of bringing that hope of a new start for whoever would get the altar. But in terms of 2020 and other deep thoughts, you know, I'll maybe incorporate those into next year's altar, but for tonight, that's
I have, we have some friends who have some property in New Mexico that were part of the fire did not reach their house, but it was across the road. And when we were visiting, we went to, you could walk into the old site where these homes had burned. And I have a piece of glass that's about this size that's just completely melted. And it's just such a touching reminder to me of how, you know, temporary everything is, and how quickly it can change. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only thing I can think that I would have added this year, but it's definitely lots of fodder for new ideas.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you for being with us.
Yes, thank you.
And
All right,
bid,
we're just going back.
okay. And I'm just going to invite everyone to check in at the website and bid now, bid high, bid often.
And if you really like the piece, each altar has a bid now price of $250, I believe. So
Yes.
That's always an option too. And
for those of you who haven't checked in on the website yet, all the altars start at $75, and we ask for a $10 bid increment. So, and like Rudy said, there is a buy it now price for $250. And if you like an altar, but you want to kind of keep tabs on it and see, you know, how the bidding is going on it, you can. There's a button on the right-hand side that says watch this item, and you click on that, and then it'll, you know, it just lets you kind of know when you go in what's happening. So next,
our next artist is Mark. Now, when I first met Mark Hebert, he came to the Celebration Circle, and he just had that vibe about him. I mean, I've been a musician for over 50 years professionally, and I said, that dude's a musician. And then I got a little closer, and I saw that he had 1, 2, 3, I think 4 fountain pens in his chest pocket, and they weren't like in a pocket protector like pencil. No, these were high. I mean, I'm a writer, and I could see at a glance, oh, those are some nice fountain pens. He's got 4 of them, really? I thought, oh, he's not a musician, he's a writer. And then I got to talking to him. He's a professional photographer, and has an MBA in writing, and in fact has a whole slew of songs he's written, composed, and beautiful music, and truly very talented and creative and kind and generous soul. So next I'm going to ask Mark to come up and talk about his altar with Zet just a little bit.
Thank you, Rudy, for that introduction.
hi, Mark.
Hey, Zet. Good to see you across the
The Great Divide. Oh, thank you, pandemic.
Yeah, I tell you what.
So tell me, what's the title of your altar?
Let's see. That one is the silver winter altar, I believe is the way it's titled. I think it's on the back at the lower right, and I'm trying to remember.
It's Silver Woods.
Silver Woods alder. Okay.
There we go.
So
Yeah. And what inspired it?
You know, these have been kind of crazy years, let alone the pandemic. And so thinking about spaces for tranquility, that was kind of the thing. And so that's where the colors and tones came from. The paint's acrylic and it's layered up. There's a fair amount of a silver-based acrylic that's mixed in with the various other colors, so it kind of gets a little bit of an iridescent sheen depending on which way you're looking at it. And then I incorporated some twigs and such that were from our yard, pieces where we've been kind of trimming things back and kind of manicuring the space, and some stones, but with an attempt to make it an open space where somebody could insert into it what might be meaningful to them too.
That's nice. And I'm going to just do a little close up so people can see you can see how it shimmers and shines, and the colors are really beautiful. They're kind of, the sides are painted, and you can see, let's see if I can get in there a little bit closer, rocks and stones and branches and twigs. It does have a very peaceful feeling.
That was the hope. I hope wherever it finds its home, that it gives people an opportunity for reflection and some space for escape.
And go ahead.
The twigs and branches that are in it are held in place both in part by tension, and then some of it's held in place with epoxy sculpt. So and that's the epoxy sculpt also helps hold the rocks in place.
I've never heard of epoxy sculpt. What is epoxy sculpt?
I was introduced to it by Alexis because she uses it in some of her mosaics, and she'll use it to make different elements for some of them. It's an epoxy, but a two-part epoxy that when you put it together, then it hardens up, and it's pretty indestructible.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah, it holds stuff together pretty well.
And so I'm going to ask you as well. So how would this be any different now?
I don't think it would be. Process-wise, I tend to sit with an idea for a while and then let the execution of it happen. And I think that where that creates that space for tranquility is still what I feel like certainly I need right now. I don't know about other folks, but definitely in these strange days.
They are indeed. Anything else you want to say about it?
Well, nothing much else about the alder, although folks bid if you're able, and bid high. I do want to say thank you to you and to Rudy and to everybody involved in the circle. It's I moved to San Antonio not too long ago, and this has been a really wonderful community to discover, and it's been a great opportunity to build some friendship. So it's much appreciated.
Well, we're grateful for your presence and all that you brought, and we're working on getting Mark and Alexis came and shot some video of the of the altars, so short videos. So we're getting those up, and you'll be able to see them, kind of the fronts and sides and backs. And so thank you for doing that.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for your altar, for all you do.
I'll take care.
Okay. I'm just going to do a few little announcements about things that are coming up here in the circle. Sunday morning, Reverend Mary Earl is going to speak about Julian of Norwich, which some of you may have heard the phrase, all shall be well, in all manner of things shall be well. And that quote comes from her, and she's going to talk about how you have grounded my soul deeply in you, and quite a fascinating story about Julian of Norwich and her life in the 14th century, which was during the Black Plague, and how times were then. And then also we always have Wednesday night meditations happening with Angel Santiago and Graham Whitley and Whitley, sorry. And then we also will be back here next Friday night with our little Friday night highlights and more artists. And I've also put up a couple days in a row a contest that you can win some of our hand crocheted African bracelets for naming the artist detail that is shown, figuring out which altar it goes with. And then we, let's see, I'm going to come back here. And so you can play that game and you can win bracelets. If that's something that you want to hand me some bracelets right there. And I mentioned that Casey, these are the bracelets. They're aventurine and quartz, Ruta quartz, and tiger's eye, and pink opal, and rhodonite. And I have descriptions of, anyway, if you win the contest, you get 2 of these. And I'm trying to post pretty often, so consider that. Also on October 4th, artist Tom Ricks will be joining us for navigating the creative wheel. And we have our Intention Mandala workshop coming up on October 12th, Monday. And then we have a big announcement, is that on Sunday, October 25th, we are going to do our first public outdoor gathering at the Joskey Pavilion at Brackenridge Park. So we will be there. The band's going to join us, and we hope you'll be there too. We'll have hand sanitizer and masks, and we will socially distance and be together.
By the river.
Right by on the San Antonio River in Brackenridge Park. So lots coming up. I think that's all for now, and we're grateful that you've joined us. I will post again. I think I pinned the post to the top, but I think Jose just posted it again. So it's there, or you just go to our website, Facebook, Insta, and you can bid. We'll be back next Friday night. Join us. Remember, we love you. We bless you. We see the light in you.